Shalom, everyone. So we had a really good study group tonight. Um, we did the Parsha Chukkat, and it was really good. It was sad, though, when we got to what happened with Aharon. It was very sad. Um, and, you know, he was it seems to me like he died because of what Moshe did um, with the rod and the rock. Um, it didn't seem like it was a natural death. It seemed, it actually says in there, give your vestments to Eleazar, and you know, you go up to the mountain, and the reason why is because of what Moshe did. And maybe I'm thinking that the reason why Aharon is dying is because Aharon knew about the rod and the rock, and he didn't say anything. He didn't try to stop it. So um, it seems like God is punitive in that sense, in that time, to Aharon. Now, if somebody has a different interpretation of that, I'm all ears. But it seemed to me like, that poor guy, right? So we got through that, of course, and we got to the part where there's the seraph serpents, which is kind of interesting. Because we know that the symbol of a serpent is the symbol of knowledge, right? And also, the fact that the way to cure the Israelites, or I should say the Hebrews, because they're not in Israel yet, but the way to cure the Hebrews is to um, take a copper reproduction of a serpent, put it on a standard, and wave it in front of somebody who's been afflicted or been bitten, and it cures them. So that's really interesting how first the use of a serpent to actually heal, and the fact that it was an image of a serpent that would heal somebody from being from dying from a bite. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more because that's pretty interesting. The symbolism, the fact that it was almost like King said, it was like making an idol. Yeah. Um, in a way, it was. So I'm going to look into that. Um, Another thing that we talked about all kinds of stuff. I mean, we did our first 2 hours of study were strictly on the parsha, and then we just naturally talked. And we missed you, Alex. I thought you were going to be there tonight, so I was like, oh, Alex will be there because tonight we made it earlier for you so you didn't have to stay up till 4 in the morning. We made it 2 hours earlier, so you would it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning where you live. Um, and I guess what we're going to do now is I guess we're going to go back to our old schedule. So I know that Thursday night, our schedule is going to be the same as it was all along. So we're going to go back to 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday when we do the Haftarah. And I guess, the next Tuesday, we're going to, I guess, King's work schedule is different. I don't know. And we're going to keep doing it at our regular scheduled time until maybe next Thursday. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with King's work and the time schedule, but I guess that'll be figured out. We can talk about it on the board. So yeah, so there was a few interesting things that were part of the parsha tonight. I took notes on a lot of it. Let's see if I missed anything. Where's my notebook? Oh, it's over there. I'm not gonna get up and get it. I should, but I don't feel like it. Well, actually, maybe I can. Yeah, I'll just do this. Is it gonna work? Yay! Okay. So, I'll get up and get my book. Okay. Okay, so I'm interested in chapter 19, verse 4 through 6, the sprinkling of blood on the altar. That is something I'm interested in because I am doing a little bit of research on altars right now and how it was customary to sprinkle blood on the horns and the four corners of the altar. Also, it talks about crimson stuff being put on top with the red heifer, the offering, I guess. I want to know what the crimson stuff is. And of course, the water of lustration. What was that all about? Because the water of lustration, if you read it, it sounds like they're putting the ashes that are left over from burnt offerings into the water, and then using a hyssop leaf to dip it in the water and then sprinkle it on people to purify them. However, if a person actually touches the water of lustration with their hands, then they have to wash their clothes and they're unclean until, I guess, evening, I think. Or they're either unclean until evening or they have to wash their clothes or something like that. But if they use a hyssop leaf and use that as like a dipper thing, then they're okay. And of course, when they come into contact with dead bodies, this is where the water of lustration comes into play, is that they're using it as a purification ritual. And what I thought was really impressive is that chapter 19, verse 15, when they talk about dead bodies, I don't know if any of you have been around dead bodies, but I talked about being around a dead body, and I have been, and somebody in my building passed away, and they were dead for like 4 or 5 days before anybody found them. The smell was unbelievable. Even after the body was removed, everything in that apartment that was in that apartment had to be, like, the floor had to be taken out, and the walls had to be, they had to have the a special thing, a special kind of fan that would come in and pull the body fat that, like, attaches to things in the air. They had to, like, do that and take it all out and then, repaint and redo the floor, because what happens is, in a decaying corpse, and they must have figured this out, because it says that that any contact, that if there are any open vessels around when a body is decaying or is dead, they're unclean. And the reason why is because that body tissue and fat breaks down. It goes into the air. And it gets into everything. And so they would, people probably died from eating stuff that was near contact with a dead body. So, yeah, not too good. And I mean, the smell is just an obvious giveaway. I mean, if anything, it's the smell that, people would think is really impure, and it is, it's disgusting. So yeah, so those are some of the things that were discussed tonight. I want to know what people think of the board, how the board is going. I mean, this is the first study period that we've had with the board being up, so I guess we'll kind of get a chance to judge how it's going to work. But I'm really happy with it, and I think it's a good addition. And like I said to King, excuse me, I don't mind if you give out the address to the board, okay? It's just got to be to people that you're acquainted with. You don't have to know them for like 10 years. But, if they're on YouTube and you know who they are, you've talked to them before, you know, you can give them the address. It's okay. Um, I don't want to make it sound like you can't give out the address at all, because then that would defeat the purpose. It's just I don't want you to give it out publicly in a comment section, because that would get my stalker alerted, and then he would probably follow me there, as well as a few other people, um, to just harass me. So just make sure that, you know, the person you give it to, you've at least talked to at least once, and you've seen them, and you know who they are, right? You don't have to know them like really good. Okay, so I want to clear that up. And other than that, I think that's it. So it was good seeing everyone. It was a little bit quiet tonight. Brenda and Jason, I guess, weren't in the mood to be on reading with us, but they were there. Um, and yeah, so I will talk to everyone soon. Shalom, everyone.